Hello and welcome, students. My name is Siobhan, and today I'm speaking to you on behalf of West Hills College Lemoore Student Health Center. Today, we're going to be talking about your heart, its function, and your heart rate, and the importance of it all. Okay, so to begin, why is your heart so important? Well, your heart is very important, and this is because if your heart isn't functioning properly, everything else in your body can be affected. And that is because your heart pumps blood through your whole body using the circulatory system, and it provides oxygen and nutrients to the tissues and removes waste and carbon dioxide. So it is super, super important for your health. So your heart rate is how many times your heart beats per minute. Heart rate is actually directly related to your heart function and to stroke volume. And stroke volume is the amount of blood your heart pumps out with each beat. So the average person, according to the American Heart Association, has a heart rate of about 60 to 100 beats per minute. It just varies from person to person. So it's important to know your normal heart rate. That way, if there's any changes, you can notice them because these changes can be assigned to a developing heart condition. So we know that it's important to know our heart rate. So next, how do we know our heart rate? How do we determine this? Well, that's actually fairly easy. The first thing you need to do is find your pulse. The easiest spots to find your pulse on your body are the side of the neck, which is a carotid pulse, or on the wrist, which is the radial pulse. And it's best to use your index and middle finger to feel your pulse. And here we have just another spot that you could use to find your pulse. This is called the dorsalis pedis pulse, and it is located on the top of your foot. Again, you would want to feel for this pulse with your index and middle finger. And once we find our pulse, we need to count the number of beats for 30 seconds. So it's best to kind of stay maybe in a quiet area or somewhere without distractions where you can kind of just focus on each beat and count each beat for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds, you can double that number, and that'll give you how many heartbeats per minute. However, if it is abnormal after you do it for 30 seconds, it's best practice to just repeat this whole process, but this time count for a whole minute. And then also feeling the rhythm of your pulse can also tell you if your heart rate is irregular or not. So there are many things that can affect our heart rate, and some of those things are caffeine, which we know for some of us will speed up our heart rate. Alcohol is unfortunately pretty popular with college students, but I do want you to know that alcohol can cause atrial fibrillation or AFib. And so AFib is when the beating of the upper chambers and lower chambers of the heart aren't coordinated, causing the heart to beat irregularly, which means blood isn't flowing as well as it should. So again, we go back to heart rate is directly related to heart function. If your heart isn't beating the way it should, you got to think about the blood that's getting pumped out to the rest of your body. Some other things are excess sugar, drugs, street drugs, and energy drinks. Energy drinks are actually pretty popular with a lot of young people, but they're so bad for you. They have so much sugar and can really affect your heart rate. So here are some tips on how to maintain a healthy heart. We can do that simply by just eating healthy. Have a variety of fruits and vegetables, poultry, fish, nuts. These are all healthy diet options. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water every day. And stay active. American Heart Association recommends about 150 minutes of moderate physical activity per week. And staying active can also help us reduce stress. I know college can be a very stressful time for some students. But if we try and stay organized, stay active, meditate, maybe do some yoga, things like that, it can all help to keep a healthy heart. And so that wraps up the presentation for today. Thank you all for joining me and good luck on all of your future endeavors.